One of the things we're the most proud of in this country is that we've been such a long-standing democracy based on the right to vote. They have trashed the right to vote. They've dishonored the right to vote. They've destroyed the right to vote in their greed for power and money. And there's no doubt about it. This was not an individual idea of 10 or 12 Democrat bosses. This is a plan. You would have to be a fool not to realize that. This is a plan. You would have to be a fool not to realize that. You would have to be a fool not to realize that. It began as a national conspiracy. Clearly, that evidence emerged very, very quickly. The minute I saw, very quickly, the minute I saw that it was the same thing in 10 states, just using logic, I said this can't be an accident. Trashed the right to vote. They've dishonored the right to vote. They've destroyed the right to vote in their greed for power and money. And there's no doubt about it. This was not an individual idea of 10 or 12 Democrat bosses. This is a plan. You would have to be a fool not to realize that. It began as a national conspiracy. Clearly, that evidence emerged very, very quickly. The minute I saw that it was the same thing in 10 states,
Rudy,
just using logic, I said this can't be an accident. It's that we've been such a long-standing democracy based on the right to vote. They have trashed the right to vote. They've dishonored the right to vote. They've destroyed the right to vote in their greed for power and money. And there's no doubt about it. This was not an individual idea of 10 or 12 Democrat bosses. This is a plan. You would have to be a fool not to realize that.
A fool.
It began as a national conspiracy. Clearly, that evidence emerged very, very quickly. The minute I saw that it was the same thing in 10 states, just using logic, I said this can't be an accident.
Wow, Rudy Giuliani, man, former mayor of New York City. Good morning, everybody. Mark Conte reporting. How do I look? How do I look in my new frame here? I'm still working on my frame, I'm working on my frame. Got paint on my hands, like I took the ladder down, I'm a country guy. Remember when I used to live in Brooklyn? You remember when I was a city guy? You remember when? I remember when I used to live in the city. So today we're going to talk about the latest in the COVID-19 pandemic. And I had told you a long time ago, I had told you when this thing started, that there would be a resurgence in the fall leading up to Christmas and New Year's. Dr. Fauci wants to cancel Thanksgiving. Did I say New Year's? Thanksgiving and Christmas, and probably New Year's as well. All canceled because of the deadly bug, the deadly virus that's killing people left, right, and center, they say. And so as I had said, the video evidence supports it that you got to pat yourself on the back when you're right? But a long time ago, I had told you that the evidence would be the sickness level, the level of people getting sick in the fall. Because why? Because they're running around with masks on, because they're not taking care of themselves, they're not breathing properly, they're not eating properly, they've become ultra dependent on the doctors and such to take care of their health. And those people, the sick, got sicker. And the people that are healthy, that don't even pay mind to what's going on, are living their lives out. So fear, doubt, we've already saw research and evidence to suggest that the fear factor in COVID-19 is in fact a factor that contributes to sickness. You're fearful. Oh shit, I'm going to die. Oh my God, I got this fucking deadly virus. It's going to kill me, right? So you get sick, right? But here's the spikes: millions of people getting sick again, millions of people testing positive with a test that's 40% inaccurate. They're getting sick, and they're testing positive for this terrible disease. We saw the President of the United States get COVID-19, and he wasn't even down for a day. You saw a fat bastard in New Jersey, Chris Christie, fat, out of shape. He bounced back in a week or so. Right, even the fattest guy, right, even the worst out of shape dude, right. So Is COVID-19 fake? No, no, no. It's a spin on the virus. It's a spin on the flu. We know what it is. Is it highly deadly? No, it's less than 1%. If you tally in all the people they killed in nursing homes by stuffing infected people into those nursing homes, especially in New York City, well, then the death rate is quite high, higher. But anyway, we'll explore that. And Trump is on the rampage. Trump is on the move in Michigan. In Michigan, right? Michigan, there's allegedly two Republicans coming forward that are refusing to certify the election in the state of Michigan because they suspect voter fraud or election fraud, whatever you want to call it at this point. We'll have a look at that, and that's really it for today. So let's see what we got here, man. So Mark's Conte reporting. Kindly head over to, if you like this kind of news, if you like this, we've been going now for over like 3 years. I don't know how long it is. Sterling Price in the house. Sterling, how long have we been doing this for? How long have I been yakking about this stuff, man? It's like, I think it's 2017. So we're more than 3 years in. Well, if it's spring of 2017, 18, 19, 20, yeah, it's roughly over 3 years. Holy shit! Almost on a daily basis, man. And this is how we do it, man. This is how we do it. Vinny DiMartini on the wrench as well. Don't be a dick in the chat, and everybody will be allowed to speak. I loved Sterling Price's videos that he has up. I guess you have to click on his other name, and you'll see his video. And I'm envious of that. Well, not envious, but I love seeing people frolicking in the country without any human beings, just a camera, and maybe some wild animals and some babbling brooks. It's very tranquil. Just the way I'll give you a little insight, Sterling. If you don't think that that's interesting to someone like me, for example, you're wrong, because people that live in a city, right? People that live in a city, you come and watch someone like me who's frolicking around in the city, right? Getting swung at and spit at and having to run away from hoodlums and engaging the musicians in a wild park, riding the subway. To you, that's all very fascinating, and you tune in sometimes just to see that, or did tune in just to see that stuff. But someone like me, who's not who that's second nature. When you are frolicking around in the woods, you think there's nothing to see, but the fact that there's no people around and there's babbling brook, and there's quiet nature is fascinating. I can't emphasize that enough. It's something that I'm kind of living in a rural area. I don't really have total access. I have to drive a little bit, maybe 5-10 minutes, to get to the seclusion. But it's very fascinating, and that's why I encourage you to continue to do it. Continue to tell your story. Your story is not boring. Everybody has a story. I wish people knew that. Right? Now, by all means, right, I should be out of business because I moved out of my comfort zone, New York City. But no. I'm currently exploring rural America, and I'll have a lot to say about it when I feel comfortable that I'm not going to get my face punched, or I'm going to deliberately offend people by what I say and how I approach them. So I'm cautious. I'm a skilled kind of agitator, or a skilled guy that does that sort of thing. So anyway, kindly if you like this kind of work and become a Patreon of the channel you can join at PayPal or Patreon. Join at Patreon or one-time contribution at PayPal. So let's dive in. So that was Rudy Giuliani, former mayor of New York City, claims Thursday that Joe Biden projected victory over President Trump was the result of a national conspiracy. Ooh, wow, fucking national conspiracy. Holy shit, man. Wow, that was predictable. Finally. It took Trump to get ripped off for the president of the United States. Trump, look, if Trump is going to use, if it becomes clear that he can't get out of this, or he can't overturn the results, the alleged results, Trump will use the whole lame duck session. Lame duck meaning from now till January 20 when they kick him out. to expose what is election fraud in this country. He'll use the whole thing. He didn't use his 3.5, 4 years to lock them up, which he should have. He could have locked up Comey. He could have locked up Hillary Clinton. He could have done that, right? And all the dirty Democrats, guys like Adam Schiff and fucking Nadler in New York, they would have all shut their holes. Even Pelosi, they would have all crawled under a rock and shut the hell up. But that's not what happened. So here we are. The election has been stolen from Mr. Trump, and now he has to thread water before he sinks. So Giuliani is on his side. This was not an idea. We heard him in the recording. 10 or 12 Democratic bosses. This was a plan. Right. That's what they do. It's a concerted cheat. And I had told you in 2016 when Barack Obama went out in front of the cameras and said, "How it's a decentralized system. How could we rig an election?" Remember when Obama said that? He laughed it off. Meanwhile, he was rigging the election against Trump. It's a concerted effort because people that are appointed to these positions, Democratic electoral officials, state senators, whoever does the counting, who's ever in charge and has power over those counts, are the people that are appointed to do the cheating, and then they all fall in line. They all fall in line in stereo and cheat. So it's very hard to. That's why you can't, when you finally accuse them of cheating, you have to sweep across the whole spectrum of knuckleheads that are involved in it. That's what's going on. So Giuliani apparently is leading the charge, and that's what you got, man. So on a side note, New York City, man, I escaped. What's up, everybody? How you doing, man? In the chat, talk about New York, my home. So we're up and running, I hope. So New York is getting, interestingly, and I guess predictably, more violent. People are attacking now that it's cold out. all the kooks are down in the subway trying to stay warm, right? The real, people that are living on the street, but the psychopaths, they're on the train now. They're riding the train where at least they can get a little bit of heat, and such. So people are getting their asses kicked. You saw yesterday a couple of teenagers punched a woman, but that's different. They punched a woman because the woman said, "Put your mask on. Put your fucking mask on, you children." And the children punched her in the face, right? Beat the shit out of her. But there's something else going on. Check this guy out, right? So Broadway actor hospitalized after he sucker punched in the New York City subway station. Man, pow, fucking black eye. Almost got his eye knocked out. Very sad, very sad, very sad. He's an actor. He was in the Harry Potter guy. He was a Harry Potter stage actor. But those guys are done anyway, so let's not feel too bad, right? These guys, he's probably I was just going to say he's probably going and waiting tables, but you can't even do that anymore in New York. So he's out. He's going to go back to Atlanta, Georgia, where it's from, and he's going to go hang out with the rest of the homosexuals in Atlanta, Georgia, and he's going to do what his mom says, go to law school. Something like that, right? Because acting on Broadway in New York City is over. A Broadway actor was sucker punched by a lunatic in Manhattan subway station on Tuesday, suffering a fractured eye socket and a torn retina. Ow. Ouch. Alex Weissman, 33, a member of the original cast of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, needed to undergo laser eye surgery, blah, blah, blah. His fucking eye almost fell out. The actor, who also appeared in TV role, including Chicago PD, said he fell to the ground. Yeah. So Weissman of Manhattan told the Post he anticipated the man would ask for money, but instead he just started hitting me in the face. Right? He fell to the ground. The suspect fled without taking anything. He didn't take anything. He just wanted to kick the guy's ass. Right? It wasn't a mugging. It was an attack for attack's sake, said Weissman. Ah, wow, fucking really. That's the cause and effect, because there's no more cash bail in New York. Well, there is cash bail for violent crimes, but this guy got away with it. In the old days, something like this, a homeless guy on the subway. I'm sorry for yawning in your face. It's not that I'm bored. I'm just tired. It's not that I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, it's not that totally forgot what I was saying, man. Totally forgot. Total fucking blank. Wow, is that old age? So two older women helped me up to the station manager's office. The police came quickly. Paramedics came. Weissman, who said, "I couldn't see out of my eye," was taken to Mount Sinai West, where he suffered a retina tear and 2 fractures to his right eye socket. Oh, man. Fucking crazy bastards, right? He spent 8 hours in the emergency room. This can happen to you too, right? What's creating the violence? Oh, I was talking about cash bail, right? Because with cash, they eliminated the cash bail in New York City for nonviolent crimes. What I was trying to say is that in the old days, NYPD would have caught this guy in a heartbeat, and he's still outstanding. He's still out there. They still haven't found him, which is unusual. It's probably because everybody's wearing masks. Right? If you're going to mug somebody, put a mask on. Right? Because then it's guy with, what's the description? Oh, he's wearing a mask and he had black shoes and black pants and a black shirt. His skin was, I couldn't see his skin because it was covered. I think he was black. I think he was white. Who knows? Right? So he's wearing shades. So a lot of ass kicking going on in New York City. Be careful if you're out there. So let's talk about, good morning everybody in the chat. Good morning Spirit Child, Jess Lee Snipes is here, Me So Hungry, Weevil Girl, Sterling Price, Vinny D. Martini, motherfucker, Quantum Epic, John Perry Barlow Declaration is here. What's up, John? What's up, John? Long time no see. Weevil Girl, Leap Year, TJ, Quantum Epic, and others, Terry Miller too. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Let's make sure we're still up and live. Yeah, we're doing good, man. So the results of the election are pretty firm, according to Associated Press. They are not budging. Michigan is now in the balance because there's 2 guys. Look, in my view, as I fluff my hair, all Trump really has to do, is prove election fraud in a small sliver of the electorate. Pick Michigan, go after, Wayne County? I think it's Wayne County. Are we talking about Wayne? Yeah, in Wayne County. If you can prove it, if Giuliani and the rest of them, and Trump, and William Barr, the Attorney General, can prove that election fraud occurred in any one of these places that amounts to a few thousand votes, that right there is what's called direct evidence of cheating. That's all you have to do. Get some inkling of direct evidence of cheating, and then stand on that like it's a mountain. Stand on top of it like a mountain. But until you have it, shut your hole. Get the evidence. Get the evidence for us, Trump, because the standing right now, even if they take back Michigan with 16 electoral votes, that's not going to swing the election to Trump. If they took Michigan with 16 and Wisconsin with 10, that's 26. So if you add 26 to Trump, you get 232 and 26, 36, 46, 48. You get 248. And then Biden comes down a little bit. So even if you flipped Wisconsin and Michigan, which they're arguing, and Georgia, if you could flip 3, states, then Trump would win. It was a very, very close election. All these states were razor thin. As far as the actual votes, 79,000 to 73,000, that is unverifiable because a lot of those numbers are in the state of California, Oregon, Wisconsin, heavily Democratic blocks, where you're not going to get your hands on the actual votes. Right? So that's what Trump's up against. Trump could, in my view, to make it a valid argument, you have to have direct evidence of election fraud, direct, where you actually have the rigging and you prosecute the people that did it, you have to lock people up. It's fucking election fraud. You got to lock people up, Trump. You got to get, arrange the kangaroo court, right, with the fucking grand jury and issue some indictments and lock some people up. Right? Put them behind bars. And then you move forward with the rest of the evidence. You go state to state. Right? Until then it's just folly. It's just talk. You're getting humiliated by the media. The fake news is saying, oh, Trump, he's throwing a temper tantrum because he lost the election, blah, blah, blah. Right? So get us the evidence. So here's what's going on in the good state of Wayne County, Michigan. Let's listen to fake news spin the high hell out of it.
But we begin this afternoon with the battle over the ballots in Michigan. Thank you for joining us. I'm Glenda Lewis.
And I'm Dave Llewellyn. Our state taking center stage in the president's long shot push to overthrow election results. Here's the latest. Tonight, we've learned top Michigan Republicans have been invited to the White House by President Trump. That visit expected to take place tomorrow.
And we've also learned that President Trump reached out to both Republican members of the Wayne County Board of Canvassers on Tuesday after the meeting ended.
This is the shit right here. If they could get these two Republicans in the Michigan, in the bowels of the Michigan, electorate, and provide direct evidence, this is significant if they can do it.
On Tuesday, those two members later reversed their decision and voted to certify the results. But now they're looking to flip-flop again and rescind their votes.
7 Action News report.
Just a side note, Stephen Lawlor, well, welcome, Stephen, says, if Trump doesn't get his second term, there'll be a massive takeover of our country or a civil war to prevent it. Well, I hope so. I mean, the latter, takeover, a massive civil war. Where's your evidence that the country hasn't already been taken over? It's already. I agree that it'll be taken over even more so by the globalists. The idea of a monopoly filling in the power void. Any pushback that Trump was giving will be eviscerated. I would agree with that. But I don't know. Civil war is a strong term, and thank you for bringing it up. I don't know. Maybe. I'm sorry. Let's listen to the rest of this.
Reporter Kimberly Craig joins us live in Dearborn tonight. And Kim, what is the Secretary of State telling you about all this?
Well, she's basically saying that the situation is already done. The votes have been taken. And in their affidavits, the two Republican canvassers at the center of all of this point to pressure Tuesday night. But it seems their votes cannot be undone.
I want to say also, people, George's son says they already arrested a woman in Texas and a man in California. That's not who I'm talking about. Don't arrest the voters. Arrest the electorate. For example, the guy who oversaw the purging of 200,000 votes in New York City in 2016 during the Bernie Sanders debacle against Hillary Clinton. Lock that guy up. His name is Mark Ryan. He basically, pleaded guilty. He basically said, yeah, we did it. We purged these votes. It's a felony. Or go down to Florida and get, what's her name? Snipes, her last name is. With the Tim Canova, Debbie Wasserman Schultz election, where Tim Canova challenged the election, and the Board of Elections in Florida, Dade County, destroyed the ballots before a recount could occur. That is election fraud, right? Those are the people you lock up. That's felony, using your position of power. It's a felony, right? Lock those fuckers up. That's the people lock up. Don't lock up a guy who voted twice, or that's stupid, right? You got to go after the big fish, right? When you knock out their two front teeth by arresting, coming in and handcuffing the people that are in charge of the vote count, then you will see everybody else fall in line.
things were going very well, frankly, until we got into this moment of political shenanigans, frankly, post-election political shenanigans that are designed to erode that public confidence in what was a very well-run election.
Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson is encouraging Michiganders to stay focused on what she says was an accurate and well-run election. But there is still post-election drama.
See, people like that, they come out in front of the cameras. That's who you got to lock them up. And do it publicly. When they're out there propaganding, saying it was the best run election in American history, great. Put your hands behind your back and go talk to the judge.
Folding in Wayne County after the two Republican members of the Wayne County Board of Canvassers voted against certifying the votes Tuesday and then agreeing to do so. Those canvassers, William Hartman and Monica Palmer, have now submitted affidavits to rescind their votes to certify the county's election results, both saying that they only voted to certify because Vice Chair Jonathan Kinlock assured them that there would be a full, independent and complete audit of Detroit's election.
We still, in my opinion, have a responsibility to continue to make that request, but I just don't know what they expect to get from the actions of, submitting.
The guy's like humming. I don't know what they expect. Humming. Yeah, they expect to find that you fucking rigged the thing. That's what they expect to find. Right? Humming. That's what he's doing.
These affidavits, which mean absolutely nothing as far as changing anything.
The Secretary of State's office says there is no legal mechanism for the canvassers to rescind their vote. Their job is...
That's funny. Weevil Girl points out the obvious, right? They weren't concerned when Bernie got cheated. Now it's a big deal. Pow. Oh, my God. Fucking Weevil Girl. And I would say they are the Trump people, right? You didn't give a shit when Bernie got, stabbed, but now it's a big deal. It's a big deal then, and it's a big deal now. So
done, and the next step in the process is for the Board of State Canvassers to meet.
The law is quite clear that once the vote occurs and the meeting is adjourned, we move forward with the certification.
And we've been unable to reach Palmer or Hartman today for comment, and the Board of State Canvassers is set to meet on Monday. We will certainly keep you updated.
All right, thank you very much for that update. Let's listen a little more. What else we got?
From the Wayne County Board of Canvassers' decision to certify election results.
Yes, you may have thought it was over a couple of days ago, but breaking overnight, the two Republican board members are now asking to rescind their votes, throwing another wrench into this certification.
They're like tongue-tied. They can't even say it.
Process. Nick Monticelli joins us now live with what this could mean. Can they even do that?
Maybe not. It's going to depend on what happens next. So the reason they're asking to rescind these votes is because of a comment made by Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson. The only reason they agreed to vote to certify is because part of that agreement was asking the state to audit the election numbers. The Secretary...
It's called pressure. They're being pressured to authenticate their position. That's why they're in there. Right? They happen to be Republicans, but most of the people, that's the problem in this country. Right? They don't go against the establishment. Because if they do, they get stabbed in the back, right? They get stabbed in the back later. They'll try to run for re-election and they won't get in, right? And then they'll get smeared. They'll get a criminal case hanging over their head. They'll be in a hotel room somewhere, and and they'll be visiting Las Vegas, and there'll be a dead hooker in the closet. They get pinned for murder. If you don't think these things happen, I think you're looking at the wrong country. Right? Politicians are notorious. They'll set you up, man. They'll set you up. Right? You voted the wrong way. Or they'll just try to unelect you, get you out. Get you out.
Secretary of State said that probably wasn't going to happen, or at least she said that ask wasn't binding. So now you've got these two GOP members saying, well, wait a minute then. We're taking our votes back. Oh, what a difference 24 hours makes. Yesterday, the headline from the Wayne County Board of Canvassers is that the Republicans and Democrats were initially split, but after a lengthy meeting, they agreed to certify the election. The Republicans say only after a compromise to ask the Secretary of State for an audit. The Secretary of State, Jocelyn, the Secretary of State for an...
Hold on a second. Observation. How many blacks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's just coincidence, right? 8, 9. 9 blacks, a white liberal, another white liberal, right? Another white liberal, right? All the leftists in control of the count.
To ask the Secretary of State
Just an observation. There it is.
for an audit. The Secretary of State, Jocelyn Benson, responded saying she doesn't believe that request is binding.
Essentially, you saw two individuals on the Wayne County Board of Canvassers who have a ministerial responsibility to certify the county canvass of election results, refusing to do so on baseless claims and that were ultimately clerical errors that occur in nearly every election in nearly every jurisdiction.
So last night, Monica Palmer and William Hartman, the two Republicans on the board, filed affidavits asking to rescind their vote to certify. Hartman writing, "Late in the evening, I was enticed to agree to certify."
All right, I think we've seen the same thing. Let's listen to one more from. I think this is NBC. Let's listen.
Overnight in Michigan, there seems to be this back and forth over certifying election results in a major county there. What more can you tell us about that?
Well, Craig, it was a dramatic night in Michigan. Here's what happened. Two Republican county officials in Michigan's largest county, which includes Detroit, refused to certify the election results in that county. Two Republican county officials, and that prompted a backlash from voters who accused those officials of essentially trying to disenfranchise them. So the Republican officials.
Oh, that's interesting. Cindy Minnie says Wayne County was thrown out in the recount in 2016 when they had to stop it because it was unwinding all the counties. All right, so Trump and Giuliani are accurate in going after Wayne County, and those two Republicans stuck their foot in it. So, again, it doesn't change the fact that it's funny that it's Wayne County, Wayne's World, party time comes up into my mind, right? Because I still look like Wayne, right? Should I get a haircut? Maybe I should chop off all my hair and I'll put on a business suit, and maybe I'll wear contacts, or I'll get the eye thing, right? Maybe we'll change it up, man. Just be yourself, Conte. Be your fucking self, man.
Reverse course by the end of the night, just a short time after their initial move. So those results are going to be certified. They are going to move forward. But President Trump was watching all of this. He was tweeting. He called the stalemate a, quote, beautiful thing. Michigan's Secretary of State, a Democrat, though, said there were no irregularities and no evidence of widespread fraud. So essentially debunking the initial reason that those Republican county officials were blocking the results in the first place. But
if you get one election official, just one, this is my prediction. If Trump can lock up just one, if you can get the image of the election official in handcuffs on the front page of the New York Times and the New York Post, you will have won an enormous victory, because you know what kind of shit stains across the country that's going to cause. Those people are not stand-up people. They are fucking cowards, right? And they will shit their pants and start to sing like birds. Just lock up one, Trump. That's all. Just lock up one. If you're wrong on the way out, let them go. All right, that's all. That's all. Just lock them up. That's the only way to do it.
bottom line here, Craig, even if that stalemate had continued in that county, it's very unlikely it would have reversed the results of Michigan, a state that President-elect Biden won by more than 148,000 votes, Craig.
I'm sorry, I was reading. I got sidetracked. I'm trying to read Sterling Price is what he said. Where I am, this is Sterling Price. Where I am, you only see white folks. To watch TV, they'd have you think there aren't hardly any white people anymore. That is interesting. Yeah, that is an interesting fact. If you live in a predominantly white area and you watch TV, you think it's controlled by blacks. The blacks predominantly for the Democratic Party. Well, they in their sick mind, they've been gaslighted for so long that they believe that the Democrats will give them more of the things that they need. That is unfortunate. Right? But we're just looking at the evidence. We're looking at in Michigan, right? We saw the faces of the board of electors, whoever they are, where 70% of them are black, and I would venture to say they're probably all Democrats, and they're all left leaning. Right? So that's just a fact. Right? Based on the evidence that we just saw. Trump funded Wisconsin recount. So let's go to Wisconsin now. Like I said, if he flips, it still isn't enough. If he could flip Michigan and Wisconsin where we think he won, what about Pennsylvania? Can they go into Pennsylvania? There's a lot of, they'd have to flip 200,000, 175,000 votes for Trump out of 3.5 million. Can they flip? I mean, 150,000 votes is not a lot. I just told you in Brooklyn, you remember they purged 200,000 votes in one fucking jurisdiction, New York City. So these numbers, the closeness of these numbers cannot be denied. Right? All of these elections are within a 2% margin of error. Maybe not Nevada. Arizona absolutely is. Absolutely Arizona. Hold on a second. What just happened? Something just happened. Wisconsin. Yeah, it's it's within 2% margin of error. 2% margin of error. Not Michigan. Michigan, they really stuck the knife in Trump's back over there. But in other places, certainly not in the West. But what about North Carolina, Virginia? No. South Carolina, Georgia. Georgia's razor close as well. Only 10,000 votes separate the two. That's nothing. 10,000 votes when millions of people voted. So is Trump smart to do this? Absolutely. But again, Trump, nail down one. Just go after one. One state, lock up one election official, and then you'll have them singing like birds, and suddenly they won't be so hesitant to speak. Trump funded. I'm seeing red. Are we buffering? Are we buffering? Are we buffering? Because if I buffer me, I just gave it a click. Buffer. 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 Thank you, buffer. I'm buffering. I got to play the buffer song. Look at my wheels. Check out my chair with my wheels. Look at this shit, man. You want to see something cool? Watch this. I love it, man. I fucking love it, man. What do you want to hear? They can buffer us to high hell because we don't want what they're selling. You could shut us down, we'll just come back at you. Oh, the truth. You buffer me, I'll buffer you. What are we supposed to do? There you go, man, the buffer song. Yeah, so we're not buffering anymore. And that's how we handle the obsessiveness, what the hell? Are we cool? All right, man. I think we're up. I think we're back. See, this is what I'm looking at. YouTube is not receiving enough information, motherfucker. But we're there we go, man. So it's starting again. I don't know what to say, man. So anyway, we'll let's just continue. Let's continue. We got some COVID-19 stuff to talk about. Yeah, again, thank you very much. If you see buffering, just go like this. What I'm doing in the chat. Just give me one so I see it, because I'm not necessarily looking at it. I can't be looking at three at once. So Trump funded Wisconsin recount starts Friday in 2 Democratic counties. So they're going after Wisconsin as well. The Wisconsin Election Commission has approved a recount of presidential votes, good, starting Friday in 2 large Democratic dominated counties as President Trump's campaign seeks to reverse. All right, so we're buffering. All right. I think we're going to get kicked off again. Let's, I guess, there we go, right? We're buffering. Are we buffering? Buffering. Not supposed to say COVID. I didn't say COVID. I didn't say it. You can't say it. It's not even spelt right. It's not even spelt right. So, not even spelled right. We're good? All right. Choose. Thank you very much. I'm getting used to these thick strings, man. I like it. I know other chords, too. I just like these. I like GC. All right, we're good. All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the heads up. Thank you very much for the heads up. That's what they try to do, man. Try to knock down your, knock off your stride, man. Take away your stride. All right. Life is like that, man. You're always getting kneecapped. Right? You're always getting kneecapped. You're getting like cracked in the knees. Huh? Yeah, healthy stream. Okay. Thank you very much, YouTube. Thank you very much. Everybody's still here? People still here? Yeah. Hang in there, man. Whenever that happens, don't go away. Don't go away. It's just, you ride the storm, man. You ride the storm. So Trump is funding a Wisconsin recount. Starts Friday in 2 Democratic counties. Good. Get Michigan, get Wisconsin, and then go after Georgia. Right. The Wisconsin Election Commission is in lock up 3 people, 1 in each state. The Wisconsin Election Commissions have approved a recount of presidential votes starting Friday, that's today. The board anonymously approved the partial state recount early Thursday after Republican commissioners blocked the push to revise a manual for election workers. Listen, man, even if they recount it, you don't think that they're going to give the same result? You got to go in there and observe. You got to get legal on them, right? You can't just ask them to recount. Yeah, give us a recount. No, they're going to give you the same numbers back. You got to go in there and hold a gun to their head and say, no, we want to see the ballots. We want to see the ballots and conduct an independent audit of the count. And if the numbers don't add up, someone's going to jail because it's a felony. So Trump's campaign paid $3 million this week for the recount. So Trump is coming out of pocket paying. Biden leads by that's really impressive that Trump is doing that. I don't think it's his money, but whatever. He's fucking doing it anyway. Biden leads by 20,000 votes in Wisconsin. That's not hard to overturn, right? 20,000. We're not talking about 1 million votes. We're talking about 20,000 here, 10,000 there. That's it. That's all we're talking about. Right? If you can prove it occurred, you can prove it. I keep saying the same thing over and over again. I apologize, but if you can prove it occurred once, you can move on safely to prove it otherwise. Trump won Wisconsin by 22,000 votes in 2016, but this year state officials booted the left-wing Green Party's presidential ticket for incorrectly listing its vice presidential candidate's address on some form. Green Party candidate Jill Stein took 31,000 votes in 2016. I don't know what that has to do with anything. They're trying to say that if that's another attack on Jill Stein. If Jill Stein, I see red. Are we buffering again? You motherfuckers. You motherfuckers. If Jill Stein, which we all know and love, right? Remember Jill Stein? What the allegation here is that if Jill Stein Jill Stein took 31,000 votes away from Hillary Clinton. That's the allegation. And it's because Russia did it. Right? That's bullshit right there. That's all bullshit. All right? Stop. Let's not deal with that. A statewide recount of Wisconsin ballots in 2016, financed by Stein and the Democrats seeking to reverse Trump's win, gave Trump a slightly greater advantage. It added 844 votes to his total and 713 votes to Hillary Clinton's total. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for the big numbers. Georgia, there's Georgia, finishes 2020 election recount, affirms Joe Biden. Again, if no heads roll, expect the same thing in Wisconsin and in Michigan, Mr. Trump. The dog is washing clothes. That's pretty cool. It's fucking great, man. That's what you got to do with your dog. You got to train your dog to load your fucking dirty laundry in there, man. So let's read about this. What is it about Georgia? Georgia, Vinny DiMartini in Georgia, motherfucker. On Thursday, wrapped up a recount of the ballots cast in the presidential race, and results confirmed Joe Biden won the state, select election officials said. A hand tally of the Perch State's 5 million ballots was launched Friday after initial results showed Biden narrowly leading President Trump by 14,000 votes, or a 0.3% percentage point. So only 14,000 votes separate Trump and Georgia. Less than 20,000 in Wisconsin and less than 20,000 in Michigan. That's significant, right? I think a little more in Michigan. But if you could flip those two or those three, you got something there. You got something. Get the evidence. Ballots that hadn't previously been counted were found in several counties during the audit, reducing the margin to about 12,800. Still, not a lot. Republican Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, who ordered the recount, said Thursday that the audit was aligned very close to what we had in the election night reporting. It's so close, it's not a thimble full of difference, said the Republican. All right. Maybe he's on the take. Maybe he took some money, took the money. Arrest him too. Indictments for everybody. Lock him up. Finally, lock him up. Lock them up. Remember when Trump said it? Oh, man, he got people like me wagging their tail. Remember when he said he was going to lock up Hillary Clinton? You remember? Oh, my God. Fucking go back. Lock her up, man. And how he loved WikiLeaks, for exposing it. Now WikiLeaks, Julian Assange is dying in a prison cell, and Hillary Clinton is out on a book tour and is about to step back into the White House to suck Joe Biden's dick. He said there was no doubt. I think Hillary Clinton would suck Joe Biden's dick in the Oval Office for something, just anything, right? All right, Hillary, what do you need, Hillary? Hey, Hillary, what do you need? And Hillary will say something and say, all right, Joe, come on, man, come on, just suck my dick and I'll let you have it. That's possible. That's a fucking horrible visual, really fucking disgusting visual, man. But there you go, man. Asked if he's seen any evidence, the Republican said no. So there's some shit going on in Georgia too. So that's all I want to say about that. So let's talk about the COVID, vaccine. Anthony Fauci insists COVID-19 vaccines are safe, not rushed. Now, all over this great country, lockdowns are occurring again. People are fearful. People are being told, stay at home, cancel your Thanksgiving, cancel your Christmas. Schools in New York City shut down. The Smithsonian museums shut down. What next? What next? I want to see them shut down the New York City subway system. You want to paralyze a city? Do that. There's so many people don't have cars there. They'll starve to death. But Anthony Fauci says vaccines are good. They're good for you. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just take the vaccine. Washington. Dr. Anthony Fauci assured the public on Thursday that a coronavirus vaccine would be safe and effective, and called for an end to suggestions that the development was rushed for political purposes. The process of the speed did not compromise at all safety. Huh. And how the hell do you know, right? How the hell do you know? All studies are done with a significant time frame attached. because that's how you tell if it's effective. That's how you tell if it's safe. But here they are rushing one through. It usually takes 2 years. They're doing it in 6 months or less. Right? And Pfizer's loving it. Raytheon or whatever the fuck that other company's name is. Loving it, man. Loving it, man. Get that shit going, man. Get the lockdown going, right? Because we have the chance to reset everything, right? Because if all the airlines fail because no one can travel anymore, watch Amazon buy up the airline industry and start shipping people for less. Right? Well, we'll get you there. Where do you got to go? You know, because that's what Amazon does. If they have delivery cars for everything else, they'll get planes to deliver you wherever you want to go. They'll make flying. They'll renovate the airline industry. Why, and how? They got the money, man. They got the money. Jeff Bezos is a rich motherfucker, right? They're very, very, very powerful, man. We live in monopoly now, right? They can see if there's no travel, a guy like Bezos and the like know that the airlines are going to fold. So what they'll do is they'll give you Amazon, fly Amazon. Fly the Bezos skies, right? The friendly skies of Jeff Bezos, right? That's where we'll go, right? They're already in pharmaceutical. They're clearly in the military-industrial complex, of course, right? They own, Amazon owns media organizations. They own the Washington Post, right? That's a property of Jeff Bezos. And that's what we're dealing with, right? That's what we're dealing with here, right? Sink, a economic reset that favors them, not you, right? Wipe out retail, wipe out the entertainment industry because, hey, listen, man, we do entertainment online. We don't need you to sit. You're back in the day, people used to go to a theater and see the artists, so we don't want to fucking do that anymore. Just if we can eliminate that, then they have no other choice than to watch it on Netflix, right? That kind of stuff, right? I believe it. I believe that is the essence of the conspiracy here. That is the real conspiracy, right? And the pandemic plays into that. That's not to say that there isn't a virus or any of that. It's just to say that is the political and economic reason behind wanting to continue a shutdown. It was a reflection of the extraordinary scientific evidence. All right, so Fauci's saying over and over that the virus, the Pfizer thing is not rushed. Pfizer to request emergency FDA approval for its COVID-19 vaccine and likely to get it. They're likely to get it because why? You got everybody wanting it. All the Democrats, all the Republicans, the president, they all want it. So Pfizer is uniquely positioned. Everything they say, 95% effective, goes right out into the front of the mainstream media, right out there, and is taken as fact. So Pfizer and BioNTech said they will ask the feds for emergency approval of their experimental coronavirus vaccine. Wow, on Friday. So they keep touting this 95% effective number. But how could you be 95% effective when you haven't done the full trial? See how they're moving the goalpost? Oh, yeah, we used to do trials. It used to be 2 years. But now, because it's an emergency, we could do it in 6 months. And that'll be the new norm because we did it. We accomplished it. What we used to be able to do in 2 years, now we do in 6 months. So Pfizer in court, trying to get that FDA approval, trying to get 100 million doses, $19.50 a piece. They already got a price tag on it. 100 million times 19 is what? That's a lot of money, man. That's a lot of fucking money, man. 19 times, that's like 1 billion, billions of doses, billions of dollars in doses, man. Dose the fucking high hell out of it. So Pfizer stands to make $19.50 per shot. So you tell me they don't have a economic interest in seeing a vaccine happen? Of course they do. Look at China. China's beating us. They say China's beating us. 1 million Chinese have received COVID-19 vaccines under emergency use designation. China's beating us on the vaccine too. Do we believe it? I mean, it's hard to believe anything that comes out of China completely, but Has China injected 1 million people with an experimental vaccine? Probably. As it turns out, the number of Chinese citizens who have received an experimental COVID-19 vaccine is much larger than the West probably realized. According to SCMP, SCMP, nearly 1 million, I'm not even going to bother figuring out who that is. Look at a picture of the needle with the drip. Oh, the drip. The needle, the drip. That's your savior right there. See, that's better than the Jesus dying on the cross. That this is going to save you, man. The drip, and the drip. Ah, wow. The savior of the needle. Maybe we should pray to the needle. You know, pray that we get a needle. Right? 1 million, including troops on peace. Nearly 1 million Chinese, including troops on peacekeeping missions in coronavirus hotspots, have been given an experimental COVID-19 vaccine developed by the state-owned Sinopharm under the government's emergency use scheme. Now, I would trust China more than anybody else to come up with a vaccine. Why? Because they manufacture all this shit anyway, man. You think all your drugs are manufactured in China anyway? They used to be done here, but they send them over there. So Chinese know what they're doing, right? And all they got to do is get their hands on one of our viruses, one of those $19.99 fucking virus. All they got to do is get one of them, and they'll take it into the laboratory, break it down, and they'll see what it is and improve it. Work with the Chinese. Work with the Chinese, the good Chinese that have made so much made in China crap over the years for us. Come on, man. Fucking my underwear are made in China, right? Socks, T-shirts, right? Everything, man. I bet this fucking glass bottle, plastic, made in China. Right? Everything's made in China. Like you see I got my tape measure out. I bet this shit was made in China. It's my tape measure with my shit on it, right, man? I'm compulsive like that, man. I got to put my face on everything, right? I got my face on my tape measure, right? I used to wear that when I was a sanitation cop. Guy looked at me like, what the fuck is that? I said, that's my tape measure, man. I don't know. I bought this shit in the 99-cent store. He said, yeah, but it looks like you. I was like, no, it doesn't. It's not me. I don't, why would, I just made that up. I used to actually carry this when I was a sanitation cop, but not with I put the sticker on afterwards. So what were we reading? I forgot. So, 1 million Chinese. Do we believe it? I don't know, man. The fuck do I know, man? Who the hell knows, man? Are we here? Are we still alive? I guess so. How long have we been up for? Oh yeah, we're about an hour right now. So China is trying to give everybody a run for the money, trying to get their virus first. And but here's the snowball effect. Without any real hardcore evidence, with a very, very low death rate in the United States for COVID-19. Yeah. High number of cases, low amount of death. And here's Bill de Blasio giving his stellar performance to convince you that all of this is because of COVID-19, and Mayor, want to keep you safe.
Families, to all the parents, to all the kids.
This is a stage performance right here.
That is a tough day. It was a tough decision yesterday. It was not something anyone could possibly be happy about. And I do want to say how much I feel and understand the frustration of parents that so many of them want their kids to be in school, and that's what I fought for in opening our schools back in September against all odds. We will bring our schools back. And this is the most important point. We will bring our schools back, but we're going to have to reset the equation.
Key word, reset. We're going to reset the equation.
What's happened just in a matter of days, and you see it in the indicators we go over each day, is something is changing rapidly in this city. We certainly see what's happening around the country. We've got
all of this was so predictable. Marcus Conte reporting I reported this back in March, April, May when there was a spike in occurrence, and we saw that there were very low dead bodies, amount of dead bodies, that right around the fall, when it starts getting cold out, that there would be a spike in illness. Now, can we confirm that it's COVID-19? No. Where's the spike in death? There isn't. There isn't. It's the same as the flu. And probably anybody right now who gets the flu is going to be diagnosed with COVID-19. That's the way it is, right? And so what? Right? But that's what these officials are basing the shutdowns on. Right? More to come.
To reset the equation. We have been safe. New York City has been extraordinary. The way we came back from being the epicenter of the crisis to being one of the safest.
Walking Axel says, "Stop the reset." Ooh, I think you got a buzzword there. You might have a hashtag, but stop the reset.
Places in the country. We got to keep it that way. We got to fight back this second wave. Our schools have been safe, extraordinarily safe. We got to keep it that way. We can't just stand pat with.
But I thought young kids are very immune to catching it. I thought that only one person in all of New Jersey died of COVID-19, and he had a heart problem. Come on, man. Come on, man. Young children, they don't catch this shit. It's old. It's the elderly, the sick and the elderly that are on 12 different medications. And people that are so fat and have not taken care of themselves in 15 years. Those are the people you got to shut down. Shut down the fucking fast food joint. Shut down McDonald's and Wendy's and Burger King, where the fat people line up. They line up around here in cars. I saw it. Drive through McDonald's. That's crazy, man. It's fucking nuts. There's cars lined up around the block to get McDonald's. Right? The only thing I get at McDonald's once in a while is the apple pie. You get 2 apple pies for $1 or $1, $2, whatever it is. The apple pies are good because I fall into junk food once in a while, but I don't eat meat or any of that. You know, I eat it as a dessert, and that's only after I eat really well. But nonetheless, shut down the fast food joints, man. Shut down the fucking R.J. Reynolds, the people that manufacture cigarettes that kill people.
Strategy that worked before when conditions are changing. We need to reset the equation. We need to come up with even more stringent rules to make schools work, and testing is going to be absolutely crucial. A lot of people's frustration emanated from the fact that they thought there was another kind of disparity. They looked at schools closing, and a lot of people say, what about restaurants? Well, the governor made clear yesterday that it's just a matter of time before indoor dining will close. And other types of things, gyms, other things. Anyone who heard those words, orange zone, yesterday, the orange zone rules are clear. And New York City will, before long, be in that orange zone status. I talked to the governor at length about this yesterday, and that means those restrictions are coming.
Wow, they're going to shut down the whole city. Everything is going orange, right? And is that any, no pun intended, the orange monster, right? Shut everything down, man. Shut everything down because, you know, we can't have this civil war, right? If you start seeing election fraud verifiable election fraud, guys like de Blasio are guilty of it. They give cover, right? You got to go after the guys that gave cover to the criminals, the electoral criminals, right? Because it is criminal, right? Of anybody you could call a criminal, I call the guy that steals an election more of a criminal than some homeless psychopath that punches somebody in the face because he's hungry. Right? One is almost justified, not really justified. Violence is never justified, but you could see where it comes from, right? The other guy, the fat fuck in the electoral office in New York City, Mark Ryan, the guy that should have been in jail, he's just lying for money, right? He's the guy you got to lock up, right? With his $150,000 a year job. Who knows how much kickback he takes? We don't know.
So for everyone who...
All right, I had enough of this guy, man, this clown. So again, Smithsonian to shut down museums, National Zoo amid COVID-19 spike. Bye-bye museums, bye-bye zoo. Poor animals, right? Who's going to take care of the animals, right? Smithsonian Institute said Thursday it will shutter its 8 museums in Washington, D.C. So much for tourism there. I heard in Pennsylvania, this state, that you got to quarantine for 14 days if you come from out of state. Same for New York City. Right? It's all pretty crazy, man. It's all unfucking believable. Is it enforceable? Yeah, it'll become enforceable. All right, so Smithsonian shut down, museums shut down, Christmas shut down. Thanksgiving, shut down. But meanwhile, the New York Post is reporting that 50 million Americans expect to travel for Thanksgiving despite COVID-19 surge. Oh, that's nice. Before they make airline flying illegal and sink the industry completely, and then have, I guarantee, that's a prediction I'll make, I guarantee that Amazon will be in the airline industry in the next 3 years. Guaranteed, right? They're probably already making acquisitions, right? Because only pockets that are as deep as Jeff Bezos can save that shit. Right? So some 50 million Americans are expected to travel for Thanksgiving, according to the estimate, despite cautionary pleas from health officials as national COVID-19 infection rates surge. How about that? So do you expect, are you expecting privately anytime soon to cancel your Christmas and Thanksgiving, whatever that means, to travel to grandma's house? Because, you know what I mean? Are you going to do it, or are you going to fall in line, man? Fall in line. Fall in line. That's the new theme, man. I think to myself, like, I feel fortunate, right? I never settled for the married and have kids, although that's not a lifestyle I frown on, and something that now, it makes sense to me, right? I don't plan on having kids or any of that, but the point is that I'm grateful. What I want to say is I'm grateful that I had the opportunity to travel and see the world and explore, the phenomena of the free world in my lifetime. And I just think that people growing up now, and people that maybe they saved, they saved for retirement, and when we retire, we'll travel and see the world, are not going to have that opportunity because of what's going on in the world, what's going on in this pandemic, and these social ID kind of things where, oh no, you can't get on the plane, you don't have your vaccine in place, and that sort of thing. I think that's, I get the sense that that's where we're heading. Sadly, I think that's where we're going. It's so sad, man. I'm glad, and I hope you're glad. I hope you're glad as I am, that you were given the supreme opportunity to see your world. Look into the heart of sadness. Hello, delusion. Feel the heart of God. Feel the heart of God. Hold on a second. I don't know who that is. Interrupted my meditation. Lean closer to the heart of God, motherfucker. Feel your life force. It's here. Feel your life force. Peace, everybody.